Welcome back to the Unanimous Decision Podcast. I am your host, DPalm. Follow me on Blue Sky, Instagram, all the socials at DPalm66. Follow the show at UDPod. Follow the entire MTR Network at, you guessed it, the MTR Network. You found us. Don't you dare lose us. Subscribe on iTunes, subscribe on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube. That's right, YouTube, dragging this podcast into 2015, one episode at a time. Thank you for finding us. Make sure you check out my other podcasting venture, Life, Love, and Real Estate. A new episode is out as we head into 2026. Going to get you ready to make that first step towards your next step of homeownership. Also brought to you by DanielPaulMortgages.com. If you can afford your rent, you can afford a mortgage. It's my job to help you qualify. And last but not least, if you are bored on a Thursday or want to come support your boy, I will be doing stand-up comedy at Old Vinings Inn on the 15th at 7 p.m. here in Atlanta, Georgia. Love to see you come out. Tickets are $5. I cannot believe tickets are $5. I'm excited to be there, excited to be doing it, but that's not why you're here. You're not here to talk about comedy or houses. You're here to talk about sports, and that's why we got the homie Justin on today. What's up, Justin? How you doing, man?
How's it going? How's it going? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Man, I appreciate you being on. Happy New Year and all that fun stuff.
Happy New
Before we
Year
get
indeed.
before we get into the fun stuff, I mentioned it last week with Felder. Situations happening in Minneapolis is horrific. So I've reached out to one of my friends who is an administrator in the school district there, and she has given me some direct links to aid for her students and the people in her community. So they're going to be in the show notes. Make sure you check that out. I'm not going to try to read any URLs or try to summarize because I just don't want to get. I don't want to not do that justice, and I want to make sure you guys are directed to the people who actually are doing the work and doing the right things and helping the people who are in need and most affected by what's going on. Um, so like as I recorded with Felder last Friday, like the Harbaugh news had hit, but it hadn't really hit yet. It hadn't really kind of
Right.
it's like the fact that he's over here like I'll be speaking to teams in a week, which could mean I hope you win your playoff game, and it looks like the teams he was talking about did. But it's just interesting that like is this so this is my question for you. Is this like is John Harbaugh looking at this crop of jobs where the best job is the one he just lost? Is he looking at this crop of jobs kind of like James Franklin after losing the Penn State job, like I'll go somewhere and I'll write a ship, but I'm not expected to win anything. Like if he goes to Atlanta or Miami, like yes, he can bring an air of professionalism that has lacked in both those places for a while, but they don't expect John Harbaugh to win anything, do they?
Miami 100. If he goes to Miami, they 100% expect him to win. It,
Why
it,
do you
it,
say that? Because like, I ask because even in Miami, especially Miami, you've got a young defense, you've got a running game that was orchestrated by Mike McDaniel, who is leaving and will get paid to run somebody's running game next year, a very hefty amount of money. Um, what's attractive? What about the man? There's no quarterback, and you've got a lot of money tied up in the quarterback you're trying to get
you're
rid of. Like that's
you're
the
looking at this
biggest gaping hole.
logically. Stephen Ross wants to win.
But how does
He's
that
he's not
differentiate
trying to hear
him
it, buddy.
from crazy ass Arthur Blank, who got rid of a coach after a team notably didn't quit on them and is apparently on the short list of the Harbaugh interviews. Like it's interesting that again another team that I think has some pieces, but is a quarterback away at the very least. And in Atlanta, it's not just a quarterback away; it's a quarterback. It's an injured quarterback with a bad contract. Oh, and the rookie one who's also an injured quarterback with a bad contract.
Yeah. Although I think Arthur Blank got Raheem Morris and the GM, whose name escapes me at the moment. He, he got them out of there because of Michael Penix,
Hmm.
right? Like Arthur Blank and that leadership wanted Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Raheem Morris and that GM looked around and said, "Hey, Kirk Cousins is not the answer. We need to start planning for the future. We have the ability to plan for the future now. We're going to do that." I remember the draft happened, and I remember that video of them talking like, "Hey, look, this is why we did it. This is why we had to do it." And they didn't make the playoffs. So Arthur Blank said, "Yeah, you're out of here."
It was a lot of assumption that we're going to keep our jobs behind this idea,
Yeah,
and the evidence on the table is you're not going to keep your jobs behind that kind of idea. But that's being said, we're going to get more to the NFL in a second. I want to talk about college football because Justin, you and I haven't talked all season, and famously, your team is the
Yes,
lose
no,
you?
we're the Florida Gators. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
we
I'll make
are.
sure that there's established up front our biases. Um, man, it's wild because it's come down to what's happened in 4 years in Miami and then 2 years in Indiana. But it does feel like it's interesting because Indiana is the team that's just super prepared and super ready, and Miami's just like, what if you gave a lineman who played in the '80s? What if you gave him the football team and all the NIL he could get? And you hear
Yes,
Mario Cristobal talk about his team. He's like, Mass kicks ass. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you because they're running A gap zone, and that's all they're running, letting Carson Beck pull them out occasionally, but they just seem to
you
hit people and
mean
keep hitting people.
you mean the former offensive line coach for one of the most dominant offensive lines in college football has decided to build a team whose identity is we're just bigger and meaner than you? I'm shocked. Shocked, I say.
I'm shocked he was able to do it because I think, like, from afar, it looks like, oh, Miami bought a team. But if you look up closer, they're still doing the local recruiting thing. They're still doing the, like, interior lineman out of, like, Columbus High School in Miami. Like, they're doing this thing where it's like, oh, they're definitely embracing the portal and bringing in these players, but Malachi Tony's 18. Malachi Tony might be 17. Malachi Tony was 11 years old when Carson Beck started college football.
Which you bring up Indiana, that's
Old ass team.
average age of that team is 23 years old. I just
And look,
I know we're supposed to look at Indiana as this like, wow, he turned a program
it is
around.
for the record. It is. Let's just be very clear that Indiana did not become this, and they were like, "Wait, we can pay them. We can pay them." And other teams were like, "We've been paying them." I was like, but it wouldn't allowed then, so we didn't do it. Like now, it's like, and it's wild because you're right. It's not like they went out and got a bunch of 5 stars. They got a bunch of D1 AA kids and kids from low D1 and said, "What if he found you more eligibility and gave you money and like." Some real deal like A1 lifting and feeding programs.
Yeah. Well, so and that I understand game is the game and the game is wins. The game is no longer development. The game is no longer progression. The game is what have you done for me lately? And lately is yesterday.
Yeah.
So Signetti figured out the game and it's really happening in college basketball. The best way to win isn't getting these 5-star 17-year-olds. It's getting these kids out of I can say kids because I'm almost 40, but getting these 20-year-olds out of the G League and getting them extra years of eligibility and competing. Like that's the game now. We've professionalized amateur sports. And
it's to the point that like, okay, so Diego Papia.
Yes.
Will never make $1 on an NFL field.
I don't know about that.
Okay, cool. He gets hit once, that boy is dust.
That's fine. That first contract still clears. That first season contract still clears.
There are no guarantees after a certain point in the draft.
I think someone's gonna look at that young man and be like, but what if? All you just need is one.
That's someone who's tired of his job and wants to get fired. That is someone who is looking for ways. What's the most entertaining way to lose my job?
I didn't say it was
in Atlanta. It was drafting Michael Penix.
The Browns thought a 3rd round pick on Dylan Gabriel was a good idea,
and everyone got fired. Next question.
Hey man, I'm just saying we've seen this story before. I'm not saying I would do it.
Look, there are certain players who watch them play college football and they're very good and they're Trinidad Chambliss.
Bo Nix.
Very entertaining. No, Bo Nix apparently he can do the Sean Payton puppet thing.
No, he cannot mess up behind one of the greatest defenses in the league.
Sean says, if you do exactly what I tell you to do, we're going to be okay. And guess what he does? Exactly what he's told to do. But like Trinidad Chambliss, that boy's constitution will not allow him. There are physical things that are required of you to be an NFL quarterback.
Yes.
Diego Pavia and Trinidad Chambliss do not meet those minimum requirements. So the idea that they can go make some money now, that no one will ever pay them this much money to play football again.
Right. No, that I agree.
Full yes. So I will not begrudge. And what's interesting, I don't know if you heard Bo had on. I can't remember the gentleman's name. He's a. I'm gonna be so mad. I can't think of it. But they talked about how.
Pat Ford?
No. They talked about how this like eligibility thing is coming to an end because of the end of the COVID years.
Yeah.
But it's still creating a weird bottleneck at the top of talent because you're like, oh, I want to go to the draft. For example, Georgia's athletics was celebrating this afternoon because Nate Frazier decided to stay. And like,
sure.
shout out
Okay.
Nate, I'm a huge Nate fan. But the idea that like you got to re-recruit your roster every year, I see why these cats left. I see why Saban was like, tears for my blood. I ain't got time for it. And I see why this whole Lane Kiffin thing at LSU is going to go hilariously.
Good. It is going to fail spectacularly in the way that everyone should have seen coming who has watched Lane Kiffin. You didn't have to watch his USC highlights. You didn't have to watch his Tennessee highlights. You didn't have to watch his Alabama highlights. You just had to watch the last year at Ole Miss to understand what's about to happen here.
The little shots of like, I wish the crowd had been louder. They got here a little late. Those shots, the shots of we can't get Lane to come to the donor dinners in March.
Yeah.
That's not going to work in Baton Rouge. It's going to be very... You know how I know it's not going to work in Baton Rouge?
Because Brian Kelly just got fired.
Because it just didn't work.
Because Brian Kelly just got fired. And like, we all know Brian Kelly's an asshole. Like that's his thing. He's an asshole. Lane Kiffin is also an asshole.
Yes.
But
different
Lane Kiffin,
asshole.
There you go. I feel like Lane Kiffin is a more intolerable asshole because he tries to hide it behind smarm and charm that he lacks.
Yeah. Oh no, he's got it. It's just molded by a lot of PR firms working for his agents.
Fair, I'll give you that. Yeah.
You remember we got the Soft Focus ESPN2 piece about how Lane had changed his life?
I remember seeing a promo for that, and I was like, okay.
You know what? I said my favorite phrase out loud. Lies are free and cost no one anything.
Cost no money.
It costs no one's ever... Apparently, we don't punish lies anymore. It's just a thing we don't do.
No, we don't. There are no rules. There are no rules.
So let's talk about the game that is going to happen on January 19th. We're going to have a full preview with Felder this coming Friday, but I do want to get your thoughts on it because, look, we Florida and Georgia fans, we outside the club. I can make fun of you all I want, but guess what? We're both watching. So I ask you this. Can Indiana's preparation and tenacity and the flat-out ability of Fernando Mendoza overcome this Miami Death Machine?
Yes, because who has the keys to that Miami Death Machine?
Mario Cristobal.
Different question.
We've all pretended like, well, the thing is, yes, did they play great games these last two games? No, but did they win close games?
Yes, they did.
Did this team wilt under did Carson Beck wilt under the brightest of lights? No. So like, for all the like built-in, this is the same guy who was making jokes about that Ole Miss coach until he won a playoff game. I think that's what I did. I shut the fuck up. So I'm with you. Like, history says Mario going Mario.
Well, not only Mario going to Mario. I've seen enough Carson Beck to know it's coming.
It's in there.
It tried against Ole Miss. Oh, buddy, did it try against Ole Miss?
He may fight it off, but it's there.
Yes. Hey, man, Bomani said on this podcast, people may get better, but they don't change. He has those tendencies that got him in trouble at Georgia and ultimately led to him leaving are still there.
But guess what? He's found a team that he appears to fit in on, that the team's just be built around his talents and leadership. And he may be 26, but he's doing it. Like that run at the end of the game, I felt a piece of me was like very, very, very happy for that kid.
Yeah, because
he's been through some shit. Like,
because ultimately
been through some shit.
And like ultimately you want to root for the kids, right? And you want to root for success stories. And it's like, hey, That was a great moment. Okay, so you brought up Carson Beck. Have you heard the weird piece of trivia, 6 Degrees of Separation, Kevin Bacon, on how Carson Beck ended up in Miami?
It involves Haley Van Leith.
It involves Caitlin Clark and Haley Van Lith. Yes.
Go ahead and break it down for the listeners because I think it's a fantastic.
Okay.
What are we doing here? Is the world.
So, it is the Final Four. Yeah, it's the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa versus LSU. Kim Mulkey, in her infinite wisdom, decides I'm going to have my worst defender guard Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin Clark lights Haley Van Lith on fire. This leads Haley Van Lith to transfer to TCU, which pushes out Carson Beck's girlfriend from TCU. She goes back to Miami, and allegedly that was a huge part of his decision to go to Miami to be with his girlfriend at Miami. So Caitlin Clark is tangentially the reason why Miami might win a national championship.
I can think of more directly as Kim Mulkey.
Yeah, in her infinite wisdom. Hey, I've got all defensive player who strapped Caitlin Clark last year, Flau'jae Johnson, on my team. I'm going to have my worst defender guard, Caitlin Clark, and see how that goes. You want to help out with Flau'jae and Angel Reese at all? Nah, it'll be fine.
I'll just put him on an island. It'll be fine. Can I ask you a question I probably shouldn't ask you?
Go for it.
What are we doing about Michael Irvin, like as a community? We passed weird a while ago.
We passed weird when he had, what was that draft? It was him and Warren Sapp, where he was like, I don't even know how he got on the rant, but he was just like, the young ladies don't know how to cook. We're losing recipes.
Yeah,
like
but now, like, he's gone full cocaine bender. Like, he is Aang of the cocaine school. Like, he's got his shirt off, putting belts to a
water cooler. Yes.
Dressed in an Ohio State jersey. He's kissing Mario Cristobal in the face, who is immediately wiping it off because he knows cocaine can get through your skin.
It's not. This is not. Oh, that's just Michael. Or that's just cool. Uncle being cool. No, like you said, it's weird. It's weird and it's uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable.
And everyone, like, Michael, we can all see you. Michael,
like you,
we can all see you.
You know that we can see you, right? Like, you understand we are like. This isn't in your head. We can see you.
I did make a top 5 of professional cocaine benders in my lifetime.
Okay.
Number 5, LT, who I think his entire
run
was powered by and brought to you by cocaine.
Yeah.
Number 4, Daryl Strawberry. Just because in a sport full of cocaine, to stand apart is truly, truly something special. Number 3 is a catch-all for all 80s professional wrestlers. I did focus on the Ultimate Warrior.
Of course.
Number 2 was the first test case on what the sports spotlight can do to a human being, Ryan Leaf. And last but not least, the ultimate cocaine bender, John Jones.
Yes.
Every story I hear about John Jones can easily be described as, that's a cocaine story.
Do you remember the day before one of his fights in Baltimore, where someone tried to pull up on him in the park to, like, rob him in the park? And he was like, oh, this is a great chance for me to practice some of my moves. Can we get an honorable mention? I don't think this is top 5 or even a top 10, but just honorable mention. Chicago Bulls cocaine traveling circus. And I know it's kind of cheating because it's multiple. Like, it's a team.
The entire late 80s of the NBA. I was like, well, there's a lot of careers that were just, these are successful cocaine vendors. Not Ryan Leaf so much, but other people whose, like, lives, like, the cocaine destroyed the NBA for like 8 years. It's like, I'm laughing about it now because it's not currently happening, but
right, like,
cocaine ruined a lot of very promising careers. And I think that Michael Irvin, as a billboard for cocaine, people were like, he's got abs in the 60s. I'm like, that's what cocaine will do to you. Yes, that's one of the positive sides. Yes, not the intended use. It's an off-label use of cocaine. It's abs.
Well, cocaine and laser focus, and his laser focus is, I'm going to maintain this through the power of cocaine.
And I would love to say that like all these are just off-brand jokes, but like I read the books. Like I know.
Yeah.
I know. That's the stuff that got published. And that's what every time you hear about a Michael Irvin story that's been published, I want you to know that that's one that got published. I want you to slowly think about, roll that over in your head. That's a story that got sourced and vetted and run through lawyers and published.
Yes.
So who do you have next Monday? It's going to be, I think right now as we record, the line is the Hoosiers by 7. They put on a hell of a show against Oregon, and they turned the Bins into Bloomington, I guess, wherever they play their football games. They turned it into Bloomington South, and apparently for everyone who was there, so it was like a legitimate 75-25% split in favor of Indiana. We're not going to have that, obviously, Miami playing effectively a home game for the title game, but for them to be 7-point dogs, I think it's a little heavy. I hate talking about sports this way, but that's the framework we live in these days. Are they 7 points better than Miami?
That actually sounds about right to me. And again,
for the record, they were 5.5 points favorites against Oregon.
I don't know what that game felt like an aberration.
It felt
Indiana
like
winning didn't.
It felt like someone got mugged. We all got to watch.
Like Indiana winning didn't feel like the aberration, but just the manner in which they won. That's like everything is gone. I'm playing NCAA on easy, and everything is going my way. That's what that game felt like. But I do think that they're a touchdown better than Miami. Okay. And I just go back to that age and experience. Like, yeah, it's a home game for Miami. You've got effectively grown men against a college team.
Malachi Tony is like 17. Like, he should be a senior in high school. He reclassified. Like, that's not a joke. Like, he's a very young man, and these are very established men who he's going to be having to play. I will say this. I don't know if they're 7 points better. I do think that this Indiana machine is so well coached and focused. They did the breakdown of like number of 5 stars on the Indiana team versus other teams. Every other team in the playoff in the Final Four had over 40, and I think Indiana doesn't have 10. My dad's from Gary, Indiana. I gotta rock with the Hoosiers. I think they put, as our cocaine friend would say, belt to ass come Monday night. I do want to say this because the NFL has been really good at marketing lately, and they have had way more hits than misses. But they gave up Super Wildcard Weekend so fast, and they couldn't have been more right.
Yes.
A stupid name. But RIP that name. Long live whatever the fuck we just watched these last 2 days, because holy shit, that was some good football.
The frustrating part watching that
is being a Titans fan.
Well, that's just life in general. Frustrating part of life is being a Titans fan. But eventually you get to the acceptance phase where you realize nothing matters. We all approach the void anyways. Cam Ward is going to be great somewhere else. I'm just accept the end, embrace the end. No, it was each of those teams, each of those underdogs had a chance to close it out at the end. And in some way, shape, or form, in different manners, all of them.
Unique in special manners, but different, correct.
And I want to highlight Jacksonville's because
let's do this really quickly. Let's set it up because we're recording this as the Texans are playing the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers versus that defense does feel unfair. I want to say that right now. I saw him do a 3-step drop, and Will Anderson was like at his feet, and the look in his eyes is like, "What are we doing? Why are we throwing the ball?" I don't feel like this is safe at all. And I don't even know. I'm not a Rodgers fan, but as an old person, if Will Anderson was trying to hit me, I would also be terrified.
I would throw that ball into the dirt and be like, "Nah, I'm good."
He did it. He threw 2 like real high ones. I'm like, "Oh, that would even." He's just getting rid of it. He didn't want to deal with this.
I'm not even going to pretend that it's not grounding. Bam, cool. It's a spike, actually.
It's the right decision.
It's actually a prolonged spike. That's what we're doing. It's a prolonged spike.
Will Anderson hit you if you don't have to, please. But yeah, let's go to the games. Let's start. I guess we'll start where you started. Was Jacksonville 24, Bills 27. That's a lot of Josh Allen. You're asking like and I get it.
So
that's your workhorse. That's what you guys do. That's kind of the staple. You're asking a lot, guys.
One, not sustainable, but I want I need you to tell me if I'm tripping, if I'm looking at this just through casual fan eyes.
Okay.
At the end, when the Bills got into the 20 and Jacksonville's calling timeouts, what possessed Jacksonville to call those timeouts? What was their logic there? Like, why would they not want the Bills to use their timeouts or even let the clock run and just try to get a stop? Why was Liam Cohen calling timeouts?
I think that is, and this is again, I don't watch the Jags heavily. This is entire speculation. But there's times when your defense, you can't get a stop, or they're tired, because for what it's worth, the Bills have been running up and down the field on them.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get some air to your defense. Also, hey man, what if we called the perfect defense? And I think that happens a lot with another game we're talking about with the Packers, where it's the over analysis when things get tight. It's I think it becomes the chess match in your own head. And so I don't know if that's happened with Liam Cohen and that staff. I'm not going to second guess them. Those guys have looked great all season. He finally woke up what we all thought was there with Trevor Lawrence. I was a huge fan of what they turned out this year. I think that was just an instance of having been there before, like as a unit.
Yeah.
Just inexperience as a unit. I think that's a team that's going to be back and better than ever. I will say this. I still don't think Sean McDermott's job is safe.
I think Sean McDermott is in the same hot seat that Nick Sirianni is in, where not even a Super Bowl will save you.
It's because like, was it like 3 or 4 years ago when so for those who don't remember, 2 or 3 years ago, I guess, a story leaked that the coach Sean McDermott of the Bills had used
2 years ago.
Okay, so it leaked 2 years ago, but it had happened 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Which means someone sat on it for 2 years and was like, oh, I think he's getting fired. Let's dump this now. He didn't get fired, but we all still know that he gave a speech to the team where he said, look at the dedication of these brave men, focus on a singular task and what they're able to accomplish. Unfortunately, those men in question were the 9/11 hijackers. If you think I'm kidding, I swear to God I'm not. I've never told a joke, because just Google this. I beg you. Yeah, Google actually Sean McDermott 9/11. Just see what
it's happens. It's the first thing that comes up. Literal first thing. And you're like, oh. So, and you're probably in your head thinking, oh, he told an inspirational story about like the firefighters and first responders on 9/11, banding together for a cause.
The heroes of his stories were the men with the box cutters, because they were dedicated in their task.
Hey man, every now we'll get stories like that. We'll just get little rumblings about how no one in that facility actually likes Sean McDermott. Like it's very much a Nick Sirianni situation over there of, well, I can't fire you because you're winning, can I? And as I'm going to quote Jeremy Foley, Florida Gator athletic director, when he fired Ron Zook. He said, and I quote, "That which will be done eventually must be done immediately. If you know you're going to fire somebody."
Which raises a lot of questions about his subsequent decision making, but hey.
Hey man, firing Zook was the right decision. It's just the hiring process he got. That's where he struggled.
Should he have fired Billy Napier after the first? I'm gonna stop. All right,
No, I can justify the hiring of Napier. It's just
why haven't we
keeping him after year 3 was a choice.
The Rams and Panthers played a game that probably shouldn't. It was 34-31 was the final. Matt Stafford, excuse me, got to reach into his bag of tricks and show once again why he is the single most electric arm I've ever seen live. I think that's fair to say.
I don't even fault Carolina I fault Carolina for the beginning and like the mistakes they made in the beginning.
Correct.
But they tightened it up. Bryce gave him a chance at the end.
Which and then Matt Stafford said in 2026, but true.
Hey, Bryce gave him a chance. And then Matt Stafford said,
second week in a row I've had to eat some crow on my feelings about that player, because Felder was like, no, he's good. They believe in him. And then I watched him play, and guess what? he's good and they believe it.
So my best friend is a Panthers fan, and he's like, I don't know if Bryce Young is good, but I can tell you this: every time I watch them, that team thinks he's good, and that's really all that matters. They think he's good.
Half the battle.
But no, and then Matt Stafford just said, "Cool, all right, time to bring it home. I got this.
It's
time." And he just will, like, I can't even say, oh, bad Packers, bad defense, bad decision making. No, it's just Matt Stafford just walked him down. It's just they just got walked down.
What if I just do that Stafford shit? Like, what Stafford shit? That Stafford shit. Like,
what if I just do this?
I got to watch him throw to AJ Green. Team didn't win shit.
Well, I remember those years. Those were great years.
I'm sure you do, and I'm sure you think that. Anyway, I shouldn't have even brought that up. Packers 27, Bears 31. Look, speaking of eating crow, I was the last person on I don't believe in Caleb Williams Island, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm a lineman, I'm risk averse, and I believe if you can't do the basics, you're not allowed to do this fancy shit. And for years, Caleb
Williams, which is wild because you love Matt Stafford.
He can do the basics, which means no one passes.
He gets to do all the risky stuff.
Have fun. Like look. If you can do the basic shit, then let's go have fun. And for years, I was like, Caleb this nigga is sprinting before he can walk. And
he's sprinting.
Johnson got all that. What's old buddy in the USC? Lincoln. He washed all that Lincoln Riley off of him. Cleaned him up, shined him up real nice, and said, what if I actually coach your ass?
Yeah.
And I think part of the deal was, you give me 3/4 of doing what I say. I'll give you a quarter to do whatever the fuck you want. I think as the season's gone on, that quarter's gotten more and more because it felt like coming out of the halftime, it was kind of like, hey, Caleb, go win the football game. Like, go be Caleb Williams. And it is every time I see him do, like, it's been like 7 weeks this season where I'm like, Caleb Williams, something I didn't think I could see on a football field. That rollout left pass on the sideline, I'm still unsure physically what he did.
No, it's magic. Like, that's my only explanation. And it's wild because he was opposite my favorite quarterback to watch. I love watching Jordan Love. Like, I'm not a Packer.
Yeah. Let's be very clear. He did a lot. Like, the Packers, I think it was 17 rushes for 16 yards or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So I'm not a Packers fan, so I get to watch Jordan Love agnostically. Like, I get to watch all of his Brett Favre tendencies and not like have my emotions invested in that.
It's the best way to watch most of these players.
Yeah. If he was my quarterback, I would be.
Oh, if I were a Packers fan, I'd be so mad right now. But guess what? Nah.
I don't know if mad is. I might just be dead inside.
No, because apparently they're going to bring back LaFleur.
Well, again, he's one of these. At some point, maybe change is good.
Oh, I thought they were going to fire like him. The idea that they would extend him, is bananas to me.
Yeah, and like
I would extend him like maybe before the draft. Like, I wouldn't do it like just the word getting out about that on the heels of those second half decisions, bro.
And that's I can point to the Packers game, and even with my casual eye, I can point to decisions he and his staff made that cost them that game.
And you'll play in my face and say, "Oh, here we're opening negotiations to renew his like what?" Like, I'm not a Packers fan.
Yeah,
but like, you can't play in my face like that. Like, no.
And the example everyone goes to is Andy Reid in Philly. Like, it was just time. Sometimes it's just time. Like, sometimes, all right, cool, let's just move on.
Look, John Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Harbaugh didn't do anything wrong, but it becomes a situation where, look, I can talk myself into firing any one of these coaches every year.
Yeah.
And apparently, from what we're hearing about the Harbaugh thing, first of all, when they leaked the stuff about Lamar Does Lamar really want to play? Da, da, da. Like that was some dirty pool.
And
But
that that only
the word out of Baltimore is that it had just been kind of like, oh, here we go again with the message had gotten stale over 20 years, and guess what? That makes sense.
that happens.
That makes perfect sense. That's a firing that I'm like, yeah, man, they're just tired of each other. It's hard to keep that fresh. It's easier in college because it's a fresh crop of kids. I used to say every 4 years, but now it's every year. It's a brand new crop of kids who might be 25. I don't know. But in the NFL, especially with a core you've kept together so long and with front office stability that they have in Baltimore, that voice has to change. And the last time they hired outside the organization was Brian Billick.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Like, saying that shit out loud means like,
Wait, hold on.
Maybe it was time.
How many coaches have the Ravens had?
Wasn't it just Billick and then he
I'll
got...
say it's Billick. There's not one before Harbaugh. So yeah, it's Billick, Harbaugh.
Yeah, because they fired Billick midseason and they elevated Harbaugh. And yeah, that's how it works.
That's it. Wow.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah. And they could have Mike McDonald too.
He got fired at the end of the season, and they elevated John Harbaugh inside the staff. And yeah.
Imagine if they'd done that 2 years ago. They could have Mike McDonald coaching the Ravens.
Look, we don't have to talk about Seahawks tonight because Seahawks didn't play because they won the most games in the NFC. Justin, we're about to watch Sam Darnold be a home favorite in the playoffs.
We're about to watch Sam Darnold in a Super Bowl.
Oh, you don't think you can Sam Darnold this way? You and I are taking very different stances on the Sam Darnold.
No. Because I think that defense is good enough to overcome whatever Sam Darnold goes he sees.
Last year against Minnesota. Shame fool me once, shame on me.
Yeah, that Minnesota defense last year was amazing. Like they were so good. And he sold them so hard.
That loss was 1,000% Sam Darnold's fault.
He sold them so hard.
Very clear.
Like that.
Yeah, man.
That loss was so bad. When they said he's not coming back, nobody was like, well, maybe you should bring him. Nobody said
he fled the state. He fled the state. I would have left the utilities in my name. You never like, oh, there's a Sam Darnold size hole in the side of this apartment. He must have gotten the fuck out of here. I wouldn't have. Oh, I'd have left the stadium and gone right to an airplane.
Yeah.
And be like, I'm rich. I'll buy new shit. Just give it all to charity.
Yes.
Niners, Eagles. Speaking of people who might get fired, Niners 23, Eagles 19. Holy shit.
At some point, and you can say it's Patullo's fault. Okay, cool. Who brought in Patullo?
Sirianni's supposed to be the offensive guy, right?
Let's give him the excuse if he's not the offensive guy, right? Let's give him that excuse. Who brought in Patullo? Sirianni. Who kept Patullo around? Despite all of this evidence, Sirianni. Oh, who was the last guy that Sirianni brought in that also didn't work out that they had to get rid of because Sirianni refused to do what needed to be done? This is what almost got Tomlin in trouble a couple years ago when he wouldn't get rid of the OC before Arthur Smith. At some point,
who would have thought Arthur Smith would fix some shit? Anyway, go ahead.
Not me.
Everyone's surprised.
Not me. Yeah, no. At some point, you can't keep hiring your buddies and covering for them when they fuck up.
Doesn't work that way. Because you end up with games like this and seasons like this and play calling like this and results like this.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to say, oh, AJ dropped those passes. He did. But it's something to be said for not getting the reps in the season in those situations.
Well, yeah.
There's something to be said for, we're going to change our play structure, the way we approach a football game because it's the playoffs. Your team has not done those. A lot of those things. I forget? It was Greg McElroy. He was talking about during the Oregon game. There's one of their mesh handoffs, the RPOs, and the back was too close and it caused a fumble. He said that's an expensive play, meaning to run that play costs a lot of reps in practice because of the timing and spacing. And because of the way they run their crossing patterns in Philly, those have got to be expensive plays, not just in practice, but at game speed in game situations. And for you to say, oh, we've got them in the book, we'll just call them when we need them, and never rep them in high pressure situations gives you results like you saw yesterday. And we're talking about a Niners team that lost George Kittle in the first half to an Achilles. We're talking about a 49ers team that's missing like half of that defense. Shout out Rob Saleh for doing a fantastic job making this shit work. We're talking about a Niners team that for the first time since I've watched Kyle Shanahan call an offense, he has no running game. None. And it makes no sense. Because Christian McCaffrey's still there, and Christian McCaffrey things are happening, but they don't have a consistent running game for the first time ever, which is where I think, honestly, Mike McDaniel's going to end up back in Ninerland, and we're all in trouble. Because he was getting 8 yards of pop with Devin Achane.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, give him Christian McCaffrey, see what happens. This is a loss that can break a team, and it's a win that can galvanize the other. Because if you look at it on paper and I look at the injuries that have befallen this Niners team, like, well, they're just going to ride good fumes and vibes. But man, what'd you say earlier? I don't know how good he is, but I know that they think he's good.
Right.
Brock Purdy is the rich man's Bryce Young.
That's fair.
I don't know how good he is,
but I know that they all believe
in him. It's Stetson Bennett.
Yeah. So I've seen what the 49ers look like when they don't believe in their quarterback.
That's a really good point.
And I say this to my friends. I'm like, when we're just watching games, I'm like, hey, look at how they call plays. Look at how when things are tight, who do they lean on? That's how you can tell who the coach and who the team trusts. When things get tight, they don't look at Jimmy. Right? Like when things get tight, Patullo doesn't look at Jalen unless he absolutely has to. Right? Like, for whatever reason, they've decided that's not our, like, we don't want Jalen to win us these games. We're going to try to scheme some stuff open. We're going to try to get folks open that way. We don't want Jalen to throw folks, and we don't want Jalen to like make things happen that way. I don't know how, and we've been getting stories for years about how Jalen Hurts and Sirianni don't get along.
Right.
I don't know how Sirianni stays. And you can't just say, oh, well, he wins the division, he gets it in the playoffs. That's not enough.
It would be enough if it didn't look like this.
There you go.
It would be enough if it didn't look like yelling at A.J. Brown on the sideline. It would be enough if it didn't look like 4 verts against quarters as the last play of the game. It would be enough if the things that were on the field were defensible, in my opinion.
But they're not. Back to the Packers. You can look at it and you can see, like, hey, I know what bad coaching looks like. I know what bad decision making looks like. Like, not on the player level, but just like when it comes to play calling, I know what bad looks like. This looks bad.
Yeah.
These decisions that you're having the players make look bad.
The positions you're putting them in.
There we go. That's the phrasing I was looking for. You're not putting them in the best positions.
Let's talk about the last game of the weekend because the Monday night game's still happening. Chargers 3, Patriots 16. Speaking of teams putting players in bad positions, this is the first year. The first year I felt anything resembling pity for Justin Herbert. Until this year, I've been on some. He and I got the same number of playoff wins. And that's all still true because they lost again. But guess what?
This one wasn't his fault.
To do with him.
Now, the last one was absolutely his fault.
But we're not talking about that one. We're talking about
this one.
This one, the fact that they got 3, I'm like, he's a god. He's a god amongst men.
So has the line always been that, like, were they that bad all year?
Apparently, like, because I've seen them play, like, I'll tell you this: every team I've watched it, it's gotten worse.
Yes.
But apparently they weren't a great line up front, and then they got ravaged by injury. It
Yeah.
was something like the 11th different starting combination all season, which is wild.
That'll do it.
Like that man, like the advanced stats are out there. Go look at the number of hurries and rushes, and like just the number of times he beaten half to death by
Yes.
a very good Patriots defense from a quarterback on their side who didn't have a great day.
But didn't need to. Didn't need to.
Hey.
It's amazing what you can do when you get a little bit of pressure, isn't it?
You know what's even more amazing? What happens when you get a lot of bit of pressure?
Hey, man. They had that man running for his life.
Shit.
And then, so hold on. If the Chargers somehow pulled that off, Justin Herbert's reward was going to be going into Houston.
Yes.
To go against that defense.
Presumably.
Right. Or Pittsburgh, right? Because it would be the winner of that.
Your ass to.
Right. And then if he somehow got through that, congratulations. Here's the Denver Broncos. He might have retired at the Super Bowl. Oh, and then he go to face Seattle if he got through all. Yeah, he might have retired at the Super Bowl. Like he might have just, no, I'm done. I'm Andrew Luck in this. I'm out. Football's not for me anymore.
He could Andrew Luck it, and I would feel nothing about it. I'd be like, yep, get out of here. Get out.
I get it.
This game has betrayed you. There's nothing here for you.
Hey man, I thought Joe Burrow was about to Andrew Luck it for a while there.
This is
the way he was talking.
Andrew Luck, like that. What I saw against that Patriots game was like, it's almost indefensible. Like it's one of those.
That's what I'm like. Okay, this has to be an aberration, right? Like they weren't this bad all year. Like they just caught him on the right night. But no, like you said, 11th different line combination, injuries. I think not you and not your listeners because they are an educated group, but I think most fans vastly underestimate how important line continuity is.
It's the number one thing I say about offensive football, and it remains true no matter how old I get. If we can't block it, you can't call it.
Yeah.
And if I don't know what the guy next to me is going to do in any given situation, you probably can't call it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what this 3-tech's going to do. I think I know because I watched film. I think I know that on third and medium, they love a good a TE game. I know what to expect there. I know what we're calling. I know how to handle it. But man, something crazy could happen. And I need to be able to communicate on the fly with the people around me. And without that continuity, without that trust, without that knowledge, it's a hard thing to fake, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Can I get on a soapbox for 2 seconds?
Always.
Gabe Davis just tore his ACL.
I'm sorry, what?
Gabe Davis tore his ACL. He will not be playing anymore this season. Before the Broncos game.
Oh.
I hope the extra game was worth it. Oh, you can't point. I can't. Maybe I can't point directly to it. I can say that one more game in all these bodies the last 4 years has a cumulative effect. Adding the greed. Adding an extra playoff team. Adding an extra playoff team has a cumulative effect.
And you know what that cumulative effect is? Shareholder value go burr.
No, the shareholder value is fine. It's the labor. It's the bodies on the line.
Why do I care about labor?
Exactly.
You're lucky. You're lucky I don't add a 9th playoff team.
Oh, they're going for an 18th game. They've already essentially told what's happening.
Yeah.
Justin, I'm so glad. Thank you for coming. I do want to ask you one thing before we get out of here.
Yeah.
How's it feel to have the greatest basketball player of all time on your wing for the next forever?
I just laugh.
For the uninitiated, Justin's an avowed temporarily suffering. I don't want to overplay their sadness. San Antonio Spurs fan.
What suffering have we Spurs fans had?
You've been in these conversations were not fun pre-Wemby, sir. You were in a bad way. Don't act like you were never hurt.
I was in a bad way, but I was also spoiled.
That's why you're in a bad way. Because you don't
like,
expect too much, you piece of shit.
like since I've rooted for this team, we've been bad like once.
I'm so broken. I hate the fact.
But no, so I actually got to see Wemby when I saw Victor Wembanyama when they came to DC, and it's somehow more impressive in person. Like watching him in person, seeing just how fluid he moves, how just smooth and effortless everything is, and just how fast all like Castle, Fox, Harper. I'm like, okay, we're good. We're probably like 6-7 seed good. We're first round exit good. I saw that Wizards game and I was like, yeah, it's the Wizards. I was like, oh no, we have a chance. You're giving me hope. Like we could actually, we're good. And then we housed OKC at their crib, and I was like, oh no, they can, we can make a run.
You did it twice in a week.
And
no
twice in 3 days.
And no one talked about it. And I was like, I understand. We're still in football season. I'm there too, guys. I get it.
Right.
I'm an American who loves football. However, when you in one breath tell me Oklahoma City is looking to score to win 75 games and then lose to the Spurs twice in 3 nights.
Okay, so have you seen what Oklahoma City has done since that Christmas game?
They got, I think one of the timelines was since there was some ejection. But that's really spun. You guys broke them a little bit.
What is Iron Man 2? What was it your boy said? You make God bleed, sharks in the water. And we sort of showed the league like, hey, they're not invincible. If you get up in their grill, they don't know how to act. And like a lot of teams when they play the Spurs now, the thing people point to is the free throw disparity, which is a thing. It exists. We shoot way more free throws than any team we play. Why? You typically get your free throws by attacking the basket.
Yep.
What don't you do when Victor Wembanyama exists? You don't attack the basket, because why would you when there's a 7'6" monster just sitting there? I don't think we're gonna win the title this year.
So brave of you.
I know, right? So brave of me.
I don't think we're gonna win the title this year.
But Mike, they're just so good and they're so much fun to watch. And they're only gonna get better. Thank you, Atlanta, because whatever. Oh, maybe you can tell me this. What?
I can't.
Why? Like what?
I've given up. You know what the rumor is they're
Okay.
setting up for an AD trade before he hurt his hand.
But he just got hurt.
That's a tweet that needs no timestamp. AD just got hurt.
So like with things that bad with Trey, that they had to get rid of him.
The young man is so good,
right?
They believe in the young man so much. Trey. So this league changed a lot on Trey while he was in it,
right?
Because there is no space for a while. There'd been no space for the defense only player.
Right.
And that was kind of, that kind of passe. It didn't really happen anymore. You had to at least be somewhat of a threat. But now there's no place, because of that evolution, there's no place for the offense only player. There's no place for someone. If you are a defensive liability, you cannot be on the floor in the modern NBA.
Yeah.
This is the greatest collection of talent that we've ever seen in a basketball organization. And everyone, your fives are going to bomb on you if you do not approach it properly. And that's a new paradigm that which Trey wasn't ready for. Trey was ready for a help defender, DeAndre Hunter, someone who could effectively plug his gap a little bit there and allow him to flourish offensively. This is a 25-10 career player. This is a superstar by any definition of the word. However, the waters around him got so real. It's so deep defensively that he is such a liability that you cannot play him.
Okay.
And so it was interesting to me to see. I knew it was time to part ways. The fact that it ended up being the hall that it was and the location that it was. For the record, these are the 3 places they send you if they can't send you anywhere else. It's Washington, it's Sacramento,
yep,
and it's Utah. And that's where you go if we can't move your contract. And I said, if he goes to Washington, that's a really big statement on what the league thinks of him. Because guess what? He's about to be a free agent. And I'd expect him to resign Washington. Like who? Like Justin, I'm like half joking about this, but you watch the NBA like I do. That's something that we've seen happen in the last 5 years is that you cannot be an offensive liability, a defensive liability.
You can't. You can't.
There's too much talent in the league.
Especially with the better teams, like your top tier in each conference. All of their best players are two-way guys.
Mm-hmm. Proudly so, not just occasionally, not just flashes of it. Even LeBron at 40 goddamn 1 years old, he still showed the flashes of defensive prowess.
I saw LeBron at 40 do a chase down, and I was like, ain't no way. There's no. I saw him hawk down a young Dylan Harper. I was like, no, ain't no way.
Y'all can go straight to hell. I refuse to argue with it anymore.
That man hawked a child. Full court, hawked him down. I was like, ain't no way. There was no way I just watched that happen.
I'm going to have you back on a bunch more as we're in NBA season because you're one of my friends I like talking NBA with. Once again, Amazon Prime gave me a season league pass because I forgot to not opt into it. So as soon as football season ends, I'll be back deep in these basketball streets. But Justin, tell everyone where they can find any of your musings and other works.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. You can find me LJ90 on Blue Sky. I was actually on Insanity Check. I don't know if Chris has posted it now or if he'll post it.
It should be up by the time this posted. Should be up.
Cool. So you can check me on Insanity Check. I'm over at ADD Space as well. And again, I appreciate you for having me. Thanks, man.
Man, I do appreciate you coming on. Once again, UD Pod brought to you by Dana Palmer Mortgages. If you can pay your rent, you can pay a mortgage. It's my job to help you qualify. Make sure you check out my other podcasting venture, Life, Love, and Real Estate. New episode is out now. Subscribe to not miss your best way to be ready for your new home in 2026. And as you listen to this, Thursday, January 15th at Old Vinings Inn here in Atlanta, Georgia, I'll be doing a little spot of stand-up at 7 p.m. Make sure you come check us out. $5 tickets, get them online or at the door. And make sure you check out the links in the bio here or in the show notes for the Minneapolis Mutual Aid. Once again, this is very important because we're all we've got, guys. If it wasn't clear before, I hope it's getting clearer. We're all we've got. This podcast is not brought to you by any gambling companies. This podcast is not brought to you. What was it yesterday? The Golden Globes and shit?
Yeah.
They had Amy Poehler won it for her podcast, which is very good. She's a good interviewer. But it was like brought to you by Polymark. And I was like, what's happening?
Ooh.
I was like, what's happening?
Ooh.
We've reached the end of society.
Don't like that.
We've got awards brought to you by gambling companies that allow you to gamble on the worst things like elections or like which color shirt will I be wearing. I hate what we've turned this country into. Dear God, someone stop it, please. Pull the emergency brake. We're all in a lot of trouble. That was your show. There is no outro. We'll be back on Friday with Felder. See you guys then.